Lisa, the Movie Maven here, with an absolute wonderful double feature to talk about. The first one is a movie in limited release. The second one is one of the blockbusters that has just hit the theaters recently. The first one, Beneath the Darkness, filmed right here in my home state of Texas, in, of all places, Smithville, Texas. Could you get a more generic place to film a movie? I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot give this film a high rating, and the reason why is because it's the latest project by Dennis Quaid, and the screenplay just didn't cut it. It was just not plausible. Things just wouldn't have happened in that way. Plus, you couldn't tell if things were supposed to be tongue-in-cheek or if it was supposed to be this serious scare show. And Dennis Quaid's acting was just way too distracting. You can even see it a little bit in the trailers. But it takes the whole film to really impact you with the acting performance in this show. The kids did so much better in the show. The one thing I did like about the film is that it wasn't gratuitous with sex or violence. It just tried to tell the story. And so I enjoyed that. And I understand when those things have to be part of a film, but in this one, it really didn't have to be that much part of the film to get the story across. And the kids did a remarkable job. For the most part, the filming, they did a good job. And so, for a Friday night, I had fun. But I still am trying to figure out what was going on with Dennis Quaid. He actually, his band actually provided music for the movie, so I thought that was cool. The ending line for the movie was about the cheesiest ending line for a movie ever. I can't tell you what it is, but it was. And I don't know if that was just a personal statement by Dennis Quaid himself. But in reality, I wouldn't have even known about the film because I haven't seen it advertised or anything. The only reason I even knew about the film is because I sang karaoke all summer with the father of one of the stars of the show. And I wouldn't have known about it, but one evening while we were singing together down at the marina, he says, "Oh, my daughter's going to be in this major motion picture." And I said, "Oh, that is exciting. Tell me all about it." So I logged on to the show's website and got to find out about the show. And so I went to go see it. And don't know when I'm going to see him again, but it'll be fun to get to talk to him about it. They're not doing karaoke anymore down at the marina, so maybe in the future they will. But she did an excellent job. But I can't tell you any more about the movie because I don't want to give it away. I don't want to be one of these movie reviewers that gives everything away. And the Movie Maven won't do that. I give that movie just 2 bags of popcorn. That's a 2 out of 5 bagger movie. Just 2 bags of popcorn. Now, on to the major recent release of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, starring Rooney Mara and, of course, James Bond himself, Daniel Craig. This, of course, is the American remake of the Swedish version of the uber top best-selling book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That book sold over millions of copies, and I can understand why. The characters are interesting. And that's what makes a book, the story, the characters. And a lot of that does come out in the film. But there's some things that I need to talk to you about this film before I go any further, there are some disturbing scenes involving sexual assault and abuse. And if you are a victim of sexual assault or abuse, you probably would not enjoy seeing this film unless you have come to terms with that event in your life. So I would make sure that you are good with whatever's happened in your past, because seeing that so realistically depicted on the screen could be difficult. When I actually bought my ticket to see this movie a few days ago, there was a young woman, and she was standing beside me, and she heard me telling the cashier that I had already seen the Swedish version, so I was excited on seeing the American remake. And she took one look at me and she said, the sexual assault scene is much worse in the American version. After seeing both versions, I do not agree with her assessment. I think they were very, very similar, very, very graphic, and both basically were very, very similar. The movies were very, very similar, of course. In the American remake, you have much fancier production. You could tell that much more of a production budget was put forth for the American film, but that doesn't make it necessarily a better film. The Swedish version told the story better. And unfortunately, it's not a simple story to tell. There are so many cast members in the story, so many members of the family, so many people in the main character's past, so many people in the present, and it's hard for some people to even keep track of. But it's very important that you keep track of all of these things so that you will understand the film. I give this film 4 bags of popcorn because they really did do an amazing job. As for keeping with the book and the integrity of the story and characters in the book, I'm going to let you decide that, because now there's 2 films and everyone is going to have their opinion about which is truer to the book. To me, if I read a book before I go and see a movie, I'm always disappointed. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am disappointed. They always leave out so much stuff in a movie. But that's my opinion, and I've had that opinion since the movie Jaws in the 70s. I read the book Jaws, I went to go see the movie, and I was completely disappointed. I thought it was campy, I thought it was ridiculous, I thought it was just, it didn't bring the true horror and the true stories that were in the book. So that's just my personal opinion as a movie reviewer and critic. And to be fair, I haven't read the book, so I do not know which one is closer and truer to the book. But there were a couple things that they changed in the American version that are going to stand out like sore thumbs. I cannot bring them up because I, the Movie Maven, am not going to give away major plot points. So I'm not going to do that. I give this movie 4 out of 5 bags of popcorn. This is Lisa, the Movie Maven, and I look forward to seeing you on my radio show, Crow and More, where we'll have more movie reviews. And we'll have all kinds of other segments too, and I'll talk about those soon. Because we're not just going to be a talk show, we're going to have all kinds of interactive fun. So I look forward to seeing you next week here on YouTube in all kinds of ways. And I look forward to seeing you with our radio show coming up.